Hey guys, Fake Rooster here, and today I'm bringing you the first episode of a series that I'm calling the RSOC Tapes. Now, over the past few weeks, I've had the opportunity to speak to a couple of members from my community RSOC, and I'm bringing you some of their thoughts about the Battlefield franchise as a whole, as well as their hopes and expectations for Battlefield 2042. This first video is just a little introduction to who RSOC are, where we came from, and kind of the games that we all played together. I hope you enjoy the episode. Give me a like if you enjoy the video and subscribe for more of these videos. Now, with that being said, let's get into episode 1. I kind of want to talk a little bit about RSOC in general, for people that might not be fully aware of what that is. So I've been with the RSOC community since I think about 2013, but you've been here from the very beginning, haven't you? So how did RSOC start?
Yeah, so RSOC, like we're Reddit based, right? Reddit Spec Ops. It started with another guy who created the subreddit, and actually didn't really do much with it. Named Jackson, yeah. And then Hippie, aka Jake, Uni, James, and myself, Ravissimo, Ravi. Like, we kind of took the lead a little bit when we kind of organized around BF4 on the Xbox One when it came out. So it existed before that came out, and it was already kind of a like just a gaming group. But I think we kind of centered around Battlefield actually because of the release, because of the hype, because of the excitement around it. And
it was great being around in those days as well. In those Battlefield 4 days, you'd jump on a server, there'd be 32 people on your team, and it would all be RSOC.
Right, and there's been a lot of, I know from over the years, because it's been, I guess it's been like, technically like just about 8 years since I've been gaming with a lot of the same people. All of us old by gaming years, in our, anywhere from, well, I mean, Uni was younger, but anywhere from our 20s, 30s, and I think Jeremy Morlance is probably the oldest person in the group, still around, a few years older than me. So we're ripe old gamers, but we've
got that nice diversity as well. Like you say, we've got the younger guys, because I was a uni student at the time, and a few guys were a little bit older than me, and even then I still felt really welcomed into the community, and it felt like such a nice group. It really felt like I was stepping into this group that had been sort of together for ages and knew each other, and it made the Battlefield 4 experience so much better than it already was.
Right, like there was definitely some younger guys at the time too. Like I'm now late 30s. I was just kind of turning the corner into 30 when we kind of started going with RSOC. But there were some guys in their teenage years, and they were just fun guys to hang out with. Like, it didn't matter what age you were. Like, generally we wanted people who it was more about the environment and the people, the personalities themselves. So there were, there's a lot of different gaming groups that I guess start, from my understanding, and not a lot of them last very long. And it just happens to be that found a group of guys who are and not just guys, a few women as well, but here and there they've been in and out kind of RSOC. But that's kind of the point, is that we're just casual group, playing games together, having fun, like no expectations, no requirements, just the goal was to jump on and have fun and play together. No requirement. A lot of other Battlefield clans or whatever at the time had like KD requirements, or they had some other stipulations. We literally had none. We were just like, if you want to play, if you're not a toxic person, if you're and you just happen to get along with the people and you wanted to hang out and play games together. And like I was saying, I think there's been a lot of people in RSOC who has been around during those days, and they've just been they've been thinking about the nostalgia, and they want to recreate the 32-man servers, and I was trying to. I've told people this over the years because I understood this at the time, is that that's never going to happen again.
No, that was perfect. Everything combined for that perfect time to happen.
It was the combination of a new console launch, the excitement behind it, and the rarity of, which I don't think is going to happen again now that we have backwards compatibility on Xbox, the rarity of very few games on a console. So there are very few shooters. There's, as far as I remember, there's only Battlefield 4 and Call of Duty Ghosts, and Ghost didn't do too well. And so even though Battlefield 4 had quite a few like bugs and problems at launch, and continuing for several months, it was the go-to game for shooter for a lot of people who bought an Xbox or PlayStation as well. But
it was the most fun you could have had at that time on the new consoles, and it was great to sort of flex the hardware, go from those 32-player servers that we had on 360, I believe, and then move into the bigger 64-man ones, and then, like you say, have that really good time of a community of people that just wanted to have fun in the game, and I think RSOC captured that really well, and it was one of the reasons we ended up, was it the top Xbox platoon or something?
I think like we went back and forth with another platoon. I don't recall where we landed. I mean, in top platoon in terms of engagement, not like performance. Like I said, like I think they had KD requirements, and you couldn't join unless you were a monster and you destroyed everything in the server. So we didn't
do anything but sit for 12 hours and
just
have loads of cans of Monster.
Right, just in terms of like engagement, in terms of like level or points or whatever the determination was, we were frequently at the top, and I think we ended at the top. But I haven't gone back and checked, but no, we kind of started with BF4. I know BF3 on the 360 actually had it was only 16v16 maximum. It was a PC BF3 on PC had the 32v32 servers and custom servers that would go higher, but on the Xbox One, that was another reason why there was a lot of excitement behind it, is because of the larger player count of 64 players, just like we're going to get in Battlefield 2042, higher player count, 64v64 with 128 players. So
I joined in a little bit later, so I want to say tail end of 2013, beginning of 2014 is when I stumbled across them, because I was playing Battlefield 4 when it was still on the 360, because that was a cross-gen title. So a lot of my friends didn't like the whole TV thing with the Xbox One when it first launched. So a handful of my friends that I was playing Battlefield 4 with on 360, they ended up either holding off on the new gen at that time entirely, or they switched over to PlayStation. So I didn't really have a ton of people that I was playing with on Xbox One at the time. So like anyone does, I just searched Reddit and found RSOC. That was a Battlefield community, and I was like, oh man, this is great. And then I started hanging around there, and I guess the rest is history, more or less.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because we've had a few different changes, because we started on Reddit, and then there was it a Slack community we'd built, and then obviously now we're moved over to Discord, which is obviously much better, much easier to actually get in contact with each other.
It's really weird. There's still also like a small handful of people that like both the Slack and then now the Discord just isn't their thing, and they'll still check the subreddit, even though that's been more or less abandoned for a few years now, which is just really interesting.
It's interesting to see the sort of almost social evolution, if you like, for communities like ours, where we've kind of hopped around a little bit. Okay guys, so that's going to wrap things up for today's video. I've actually created what I hope will be 3 videos in this series of RSOC tapes. So we've had the one there about who RSOC are. I'll be doing one where I sit down with Shoji and Ravi and discuss the Battlefield franchise as a whole, as well as Battlefield 2042, as I said earlier. So give me a like if you enjoyed the video and enjoyed the format, and subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next video.